Manchester United are out of the Carabao Cup after losing 3-0 at home to Newcastle United. It's one of those ones, right, where obviously I'm sure we're all thinking the same thing, right? There'll be some people in the fan base who are saying, sack the manager, sack the manager. I'm not one of those people, to be honest. I'm not. These players are literally a disgrace, every single one of them. They're all rubbish. I genuinely, at this point, I've thought this for a while. I honestly would not be sad if a single one of these players stayed at the club. I'd be happy with every single one of them going. I don't think any of them are good enough. Look at that team that we're playing tonight. Look through it. Harry Maguire and Lindelof, absolutely hopeless at centre-back. We've seen again why Ten Hag didn't want to pick them anymore and why he's ultimately been forced to through injuries and through a lack of signings by the Glazers. You know, he wanted Jean-Claire Todibo. He wanted Kim Min-jae. He didn't get any of these people in the summer. And I said to you in the summer, I said, it won't be long before you see Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans as our starting centre-backs. And you were all laughing at me saying, ha, very funny, that will never happen. Literally about 3 games into the season, we see Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans being our starting centre-backs in the Manchester derby. Obviously, Varane's sick. I mean, he's always either sick or injured, isn't he? Martinez is out for 3-4 months. Luke Shaw's out for 3-4 months. Wan-Bissaka came back today, but looked like he wasn't even ready to come back. I mean, it's an absolute disgrace. Like, look through our team, right? Onana, I'm not going to criticise at this point. I think he's only been here for 10 games, so it's a bit harsh to criticise him. Reguilon, terrible. I know he's been here for 10 games as well, but he's rubbish, let's be honest. Lindelof, at best, a backup. He wouldn't get into any of the other top 10 teams. I'd rather take Pau Torres from Aston Villa than Victor Lindelof. Let's be clear here. Harry Maguire needs to go back to Leicester in the Championship. He's absolutely crap. Dalot, let's be honest, is crap as well. Absolutely terrible. At fault for at least 2 of those goals. One of the goals, he didn't even bother to track back. He just stood there, lost his man, and Almiron scored. Absolutely terrible. He is. He's rubbish. Let's be clear here. Dalot is absolutely rubbish. He's not good enough to be a Manchester United player. I'm sorry. I don't think he is. And I'm not just saying that after losing the game, you know. Manchester United lose a match, I'm not surprised anymore. I'm not. I really am not. 3-0 to Newcastle. Fair play to Newcastle. They were the better team. They are the better team. They're going in a better direction than us. They've got owners who want to turn them into one of the biggest clubs in world football, and they're on track to do that. We've got a bunch of idiots who sat over in America counting their money and do not give a fuck, to be honest with you. I don't usually swear on this channel. I usually try and keep it pretty pretty PG, but the Glazers do not give a fuck. Let's be completely clear here. They do not. Newcastle United, that is how a club should be run. It is, isn't it? They're recruiting well. They're recruiting players without egos. They're recruiting humble players who want to come in, who are hungry and work towards a common goal. We recruit a bunch of muppets who literally their only purpose is to try and sell shirts. We bring in people like Mason Mount. Let's be honest, he's absolutely crap. He's terrible. He was awful today. Casemiro, I actually thought was all right. Erik ten Hag brings him off at half-time. Erik ten Hag's not going to go without criticism. Don't you worry. Bringing off Casemiro at half-time, I don't care if he was on a yellow card. Hannibal was on a yellow card. He should have come off after 20 minutes, Hannibal. I like Hannibal. I think he could go on to be a good player, but he still has a real attitude problem, doesn't he, that guy? He really, really does. He got a yellow card. 5 minutes later, he should have been sent off. He was literally clutching by a straw. And for some reason, Erik ten Hag takes him off. He keeps him on and brings off Casemiro, who actually, to be honest, Casemiro was our only good player to begin with. He was the only good player on that pitch. If you look through Garnacho, I'm sorry, right? I said this to you before the game. There's so many people in the fan base screaming, Rashford's rubbish, don't start him. Garnacho should play every single game, blah, blah, blah. We see why Garnacho doesn't start. He did absolutely nothing. He's much better as an impact sub. He's 18 years of age. I do think he's going to go on and be a special player in the future, but he's only 18. He is. And every time he started a match, he's never performed. Let's be very honest with you, right? He's very, very young. I'm not saying... I like Garnacho, just to be very, very clear here, all right? I'm not trying to bash him, but my point here is... It's easy for people to criticise Ten Hag and say, it's a disgrace that Rashford starts every game. Well, we see why Rashford starts every game. Garnacho started the game and did nothing. He was just as bad as Rashford was, if not worse. He offered absolutely nothing. He was at fault for one of the goals somewhat. He gave the ball away, really badly. Dalot obviously didn't help him in that goal, the Almiron goal. But we can see why Marcus Rashford starts these matches, we really, really can. Looking through the rest of the team, Hannibal... I don't think he's good enough to play for Manchester United at this point. I think he needs, maybe another loan. Obviously, he was out in the Championship last season. Antony for 100 million euros, we've been absolutely robbed. He's absolutely crap, let's be honest. Antony is woeful. He's terrible. He tries hard. He works hard. I don't think we can, complain about his attitude or about how much he works and how much effort he puts in. Antony tries his best, but let's be honest, his best is not good enough. Anthony Martial, it was like he wasn't even on the pitch either. And you know what? We've got to give a bit of credit to Newcastle United here. We really, really do. Because you know what? Newcastle United, look at the team that Newcastle United started with, right? Their defence was Hall, Dummett, Kraft and Livramento. So nobody can sit here and say, oh, we've got injuries. Like, look at the team that started for Newcastle tonight. They had Longstaff, Target and Willock in midfield. Their attackers were Ritchie, Gordon and Joel Linton. None of their good players were even playing. There was no Bruno Guimaraes. Obviously, Almiron came on after 30 minutes because of an injury. No Isaac. Trippier came on for the last bit. No Dan Burn. No Callum Wilson. They were literally playing. On the commentary, they were saying that 2 or 3 of the people who started for Newcastle hadn't played a game since January. I mean, what an absolute joke. People are saying get a poll going. I mean, I'll do a poll if you want. All right, why not? There you go. I think I stick with Erik ten Hag, okay? I've done the poll because people have asked in the chat to do it. Please do smash a like on the video, everybody, and please do subscribe. I know everybody. And get your thoughts in the comment section. Get your thoughts in the live chat. Let me know how you're feeling. Where do Manchester United go from here? For me, Erik ten Hag, if Erik ten Hag gets sacked, I'll be absolutely furious. I will. I think anybody who wants Erik ten Hag out, you need to have a long, hard look at these players. They're all an absolute disgrace. They are. Every single one of them. I genuinely don't think a single one of those players who started tonight, maybe bar Garnacho, maybe Onana, and maybe Casemiro, maybe. This is a maybe, okay? This is 50-50. I genuinely don't think a single one of them deserve to play for Manchester United ever again. I don't. Lindelof, rubbish. Maguire, rubbish. Dalot, rubbish. Reguilon, rubbish. Martial, let's be honest, is absolutely terrible. Should have gone years ago. Antony, we never should have bought for 100 million. Mason Mount, absolute waste of money, 60 million. Hannibal, I'm not going to, throw under the bus. I think he needs to go out on loan. He's still young. He's still got, he's still very raw. You can see that. But the rest of them, they're professional first-team footballers, Lindelof, Maguire, all of these people, they play for the national teams. An absolute disgrace. They're terrible. Absolutely awful. I don't know where we go from here, to be honest. Somebody says, where is Amad Diallo? We are crap, just crap. Amad Diallo's still injured. I think he's going to be back in the next couple of weeks. But you know what? I will say this, right? I'm not surprised anymore. I've said this to you guys so many times on the show. And, the thing we have to take into consideration here, right, for me personally, is Manchester United now, I think 4th to 10th is where we are in the future. And I was talking to my friend the other day, right? And you can make of this what you want. Say I'm being negative. Say I'm being depressing. But I genuinely think this is just the reality for the rest of my lifetime. I genuinely think that at this point, because I've seen nothing in the last 10 years, really, that's made me think otherwise. I genuinely think if Sir Jim Ratcliffe comes in and the Glazers stay for the rest of my lifetime, or at least for the next 20, 30 years, this will be the reality. I don't think this is a blip. I don't think in a year's time we'll be challenging for titles and, we'll look back and say, oh, remember when we lost to Man City and Newcastle 3-0? Oh, those were funny times. I think this is just it now. I honestly think this is it. I think the glory days are done. Obviously, any of you who were alive in the 90s and around that time will know that. That was, when the glory was. I think it's done. I think it's over. I really, really do. And I think that, honestly, we need to get rid of pretty much this whole team. Even from the people on the bench. McTominay goes. Bayinder's a backup goalkeeper. Eriksen goes. Evans should go. Debatably, Marcus Rashford, if you've got a big offer for him, should probably go. Bruno Fernandes, I think, is a luxury player. I think, in a Man City team, I think he would do well. And Manchester United, I don't know if it works. I don't. Højlund, again, he's still young. Still got a long way to go. Wan-Bissaka, I would probably keep as a backup. Amrabat, definitely, I don't think is good enough. Look through the whole of this team, right? I'll genuinely would do this for you now, really, really quickly. Onana, I'll give for the benefit of the doubt. I think he's okay. Lindelof, not good enough. Maguire, not good enough. Reguilon, not good enough. Dalot, not good enough. Casemiro, 31 years of age, let's be honest, is probably past his best now. Mason Mount never should have come, not good enough. Hannibal needs to go out on loan. Anthony Martial should have gone years ago. Anthony, we got robbed 100 million for. Garnacho, yes, maybe for the future. Amrabat, send him back to Fiorentina. Wan-Bissaka, back up. Højlund, in my opinion, at this point, it should be a backup striker. Shouldn't be leading the line for Manchester United at 20 years of age after scoring, 6 goals in the Serie A as his best return in professional football. Bruno Fernandes, I like him, but I think you need 10 other good players around him to really see the strength of him. Marcus Rashford, again, if you have a really strong team, I think you see the strengths of him. Evans, not good enough. Eriksen, past his best. Buy in the backup goalkeeper, McTominay. So literally from our squad of 22 players from today, I would probably keep 3. Genuinely, and I'm not even trying to be funny here. I'd probably keep 3. And that would probably be Højlund. I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know anymore. Let's see what people are saying in the chat, everybody. Get your comments in, get your live chats in. Let me know what your thoughts are. Steve says Erik ten Hag has lost the will of the players. Somebody says at this rate, the stadium will be empty before kickoff. And do you know what the most scary thing is for me, right? Going into this match against Fulham on Saturday, we're going to get beaten. Let's be honest. We are. Look at our form so far this season, right? Look at our form. I honestly think that we will not be the favourites going into that game. We've just lost 3-0 at home to Newcastle. We lost 3-0 at home to Man City. We shouldn't have beat Copenhagen. They obviously got that penalty in the last minute, which Onana saved. Sheffield United, we shouldn't have won that game. We scored literally the last kick of the game. Brentford, again, the same situation. Galatasaray, we lost to. Any of the games that we've won this season, apart from Crystal Palace, where we won 3-0, first game of the season, we lose to Brighton, then we lose to Bayern. You know what I mean? We've been absolutely terrible all season, and this is just the reality for me now. It really, really is. And I don't know where... I do know where we go from here. I do. We just stay at this point now. I think this is it. I really, really do. I think unless Qatar had come in, cleared out the team, got rid of, 10, 15 players... I honestly don't think anything will change now. Joseph says, when will the open heart surgery start after a few more losses like this? Mate, the open heart surgery is not going to start. Whilst the Glazers are here, they'll be happy. The Glazers don't care. The thing that you guys have to remember, right, is this. This is amazing for the Glazers. This is absolutely incredible for the Glazers. They'll be happy. I'm telling you now, right? They will be happy about this loss today. They'll be happy that we lost to Man City. And the reason why they'll be happy is because it defers all of the blame over to Ten Hag. How many people in this chat are saying Glazers out? Let me have a look through. Not a single person. We've got hundreds of people. We've got hundreds and hundreds of people in this chat this evening, right? There's not a single person that I can see. Someone says this is the Glazers' fault. I assume they're probably being sarcastic, maybe a rival fan. But literally, there's not a single comment in this chat tonight saying that the Glazers are at fault for this and that the Glazers should go. There'll be people, everyone's saying Erik ten Hag gone in 2 weeks. Other people saying get rid of Erik ten Hag, blah, blah, blah. This is literally the perfect scenario. Okay, people are saying Glazers out now, so that's good. Keep saying the Glazers out. Somebody says the Glazers don't care. The Glazers do care. The Glazers will be happy. The Glazers will be happy about this result tonight. I'm telling you. They will. Do you know why? Because it defers all of the blame over to the manager. All of the blame. Anybody... in TalkSport, in the mainstream media, Sky Sports, all of these tabloids, right? Everything will be on Erik ten Hag. As soon as anybody, a true Manchester United fan tries to bring up the Glazers, they'll say, oh, they've spent 400 million of their own money out of their own pocket. Absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. And it frustrates me so much when you get these, these journalists, they call themselves journalists, on TalkSport and all of these other places. They'll be having this conversation on the Drive Time show tomorrow morning on TalkSport. You wait for it. Erik ten Hag should be sacked. The Glazers aren't to blame. The Glazers have been good owners. You wait for it. None of them have a clue. They've got such an agenda against this manager, right? How many of them are going to be calling out the players? Probably next to none. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section in the live chat. Somebody says the only way to get the Glazers out is to empty Old Trafford. Otherwise, it will never happen. I agree with you, mate, but I just don't think it will happen. To be honest, I think if people want to spend their hard-earned money on going to see Manchester United, that's completely up to them. That's up to them, and I'm not gonna criticize them for that. I'm not, because people work hard, and if they want to choose to spend their money to go and see Manchester United, well, fair play to them. But it's easy for us to say clear Manchester United Stadium, clear Old Trafford, but unless fans, forcibly stop people from going into the ground, which again I don't condone or I don't encourage, why would the stadium empty? It's not going to happen. There's hundreds of thousands of people waiting for season tickets. I tried to get tickets myself for this season, I'll be honest, right? I was in the queue 9 hours before the tickets went on sale on the internet, right? I waited in the queue for maybe 6 hours after they went on sale, and I didn't get a single ticket, not one. Last season, I went to about 10 matches. It was easy to get tickets. It was. The season before that, just after the COVID season, I went to about 10 matches again. And I think that the reason why they were so easy was because obviously travel was still quite restricted in the UK. So it was mainly people from the UK, I guess, who were buying tickets. Whereas obviously Manchester United have a worldwide fan base. And, you know, how can you blame somebody, say, from India, right, who supported Manchester United all their life and their dream is to come to Old Trafford? I'm not going to sit here and say that person shouldn't go to Old Trafford because they need to get the Glazers out. You know, I'm just not going to do that, because I think it makes sense. I get it, but like, if people want to spend their money doing that, then that's up to them. But I'm gonna wrap the money. I'm gonna wrap the money up. I'm gonna wrap the video up here, guys, because it's just, I feel like we're going around in circles with this. You know, obviously I will be back tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Hopefully I'll be a bit more. Hopefully I'll be, I don't know, a bit more positive. I just think this is the reality now. Let's just read out the poll really, really quickly. So 58% of you think Erik ten Hag should remain as the manager, and 42% of you think he shouldn't. That's fine. I agree with that. I 100% want Erik ten Hag to stay. The blame for me is first of all on the Glazers, on the CEO, on the director of football that doesn't exist, then on the players who are literally hopeless and should all be gotten rid of, to be honest with you, bar maybe 2 or 3 of them. And then the final blame's obviously on Erik ten Hag. He's the bottom of the list for me. He's down here, Glazers up here, CEO, director of football, players, and then Erik ten Hag's right at the bottom of that list for me. I think he's probably the best manager available at this moment in time for us, and I'm not going to put the blame on him. Yes, he made some bad decisions today. Yes, bringing off Casemiro was questionable. But before the match started, I looked at that lineup and I thought, I'm really happy about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say, why did Rashford not start? Why did Bruno not start? Because I was happy with the lineup. I was. But I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe. Get your thoughts in the comment section. Should Erik ten Hag remain as the Manchester United manager? This has been Daily Red Devil. Hopefully everyone can go and decompress a bit, and I'll speak to you all a bit later.